Videos up.
Warning. The content in this podcast contains colorful language, spirited conversation, and some good old-fashioned ignorance. So get out of your bag and let's get on with it.
Welcome to the Cranberry Podcast. The podcast about absolutely nothing. Jeez Louise. We have a show for you today, bitch.
You didn't say let's
We got a
get
show
on with
today.
it. Let's get on with it.
I didn't say that. You're correct. I didn't. You're right. Good luck today, everybody. Welcome to the Cranberry Podcast, a podcast about absolutely nothing. So if there's nothing in your cup, blue, fill it up. Hey,
Beautiful.
all right, here we go, and we're off. So today, we got a good show for you. We're gonna do some shit for you, or we're not gonna do some shit for you. We're gonna do some shit for us, and then we're gonna give you some information that you may not know about a particular alcohol and X, Y, and Z, which we always do. So don't be surprised. I'm a little thrown, but we're gonna knock this shit out. What's up, man? How was your week?
Man, my week was really good as usual. I did get a little sick towards the end of the week, but I'm still a little congested today. But I'm doing pretty good, I must say. What about you?
I'm solid, man. I had a rough week as far as work goes. I was busy as fuck. A lot of patients, man. They wanted to die. I was like, no, just hold on. So, just a lot of saving lives for the week. Man.
No high notes?
No, I don't get high.
Oh.
Yeah, no.
You know what? Yesterday was 420. And I was thinking as I was driving.
No shit, it was too.
That like people were gonna be driving all crazy or something. But
everybody had their wits about them.
It was the normal LA driving.
Oh well, then it was still crazy.
It was still crazy.
Fucking bedlam out there.
Yeah, and then they have the the IndyCar race going on.
Is that this week?
That was this week.
I've always wanted to go to that. For whatever reason, I just never made it out to it. But I've always wanted to go.
I know. It looked like it was really cool. Then somebody, I guess you could have gotten in free on like Friday. Somebody sent me something, and had I been able to go, I would have just to be nosy, like go walk around real quick. Because why not if it's free?
If it's free.
But I didn't have the opportunity to do that either. Plus, again, I wasn't feeling good, so I went home and just relaxed.
Went home and just relaxed.
Yep.
Let me just hide my belly real quick on them. Oh, can't hide it. Okay, boom. Is that good? That don't work? There's no hiding it. I'm fat, everybody. I wanted to actually hit a spot down there. So they do the races right there on Shoreline, and there is a place on Shoreline called something Charlie's. I don't know. They have a gumbo fry that's actually pretty good. It's not bad. I don't rush down there to go get it. But if you're in the area, I check it out. It's a pretty good French fry with gumbo on top of it, some cheese on there. I haven't tried them with the crisp. So they make the fries two different ways. They just regular fries where they're going to end up being like kind of mushy almost. And then they make the crispy fries and put the gumbo thing on top of the thing. And from my understanding, well, I haven't had the crispy, but I did have the regular ones, and it was good. Them shits was all right.
Yeah, I haven't had them. I think you asked me about it, and the day that you went, I don't think I was. Oh,
yeah, no, you was hungover.
Well, you got to tell everybody I wasn't feeling great.
Sorry, this is a drinking podcast, so
and I could not. I tried my hardest to. I think even after you left, I was like, okay, let me put my clothes on. I'm gonna come. And I think I got my pants on, and then I was like, "Ooh, I'm gonna have to go back to the bathroom again." I was like, "You know what? Man. I'm gonna hunker down."
You had the BGs?
No, it was coming out the top.
Oh, well, all right then.
So I didn't want to be throwing up everywhere.
You know how to paint a picture.
Yeah,
that's good. Well, today, everybody, is that it? Is that all you had for everybody?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So today what we're going to do is we have a new drink. Ooh. Like we always do.
This one's got a pretty
This
container.
one I have been looking for. So I'm going to tell you a quick story about this. A lot of people have been telling me about this Japanese whiskey. I've been hearing, oh, Japanese whiskey. So many people are like on this, like a new wave of Japanese whiskey. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna venture out, try to find this Japanese whiskey. Somebody gave me about 3 different recommendations. I was like, all right, let me check these out. What I found while doing the research is one of these Japanese whiskeys was sold out at like multiple locations. Okay. So, when you go online, and that's a gripe of mine, because when you go online and you ask Google, whatever, hey, where this shit at? And then it'll say it's here. So then when you go on and you go onto the site, it'd be like, yeah, nigga, it's on aisle 13. And then you go over there, it's sold the fuck out. Now, some places will actually update, their information, and it'll be like, yeah, nigga, not in stock.
Yeah.
So I ended up driving from my home all the way to like 10 miles away just to find, because it said it was there. And I get there, it wasn't there. And then the lady was like, yeah, it's the manufacturer is out of this particular beverage. So, I'm pissed. I'm like, nah, I'm not buying shit out of here because y'all niggas didn't up there. I was gonna buy a bunch of shit. Now I ain't buying nothing. So I ain't buying nothing.
Oh my gosh.
I ain't buying nothing. I drove to a whole nother one to buy at the place that they said they know they didn't have it. I went there and bought some more shit.
Okay.
I bought a Japanese whiskey, spent more than what I was supposed to spend for the whiskey that I was looking for.
Yeah.
And that whiskey turned out to be shit. Now we are going to feature that whiskey, just not today.
Okay.
Just so we can talk shit about it. But today we are sipping on some of that Hibiki. Yep, that Hibiki. Yo, so we went to a whiskey bar not too long ago.
Yeah.
Maybe like last week or something like that. Week before.
Was last week.
It was last week? Yeah. And we tasted the Hibiki. Oh, bless you.
Thank you. Sorry.
You're welcome. So we did taste the Hibiki, and the Hibiki was actually really, really good. So I acquired it, and now we're gonna don't laugh. I acquired it. I didn't steal it. I acquired it. Okay, that's a real thing. So now we're gonna have some. So pass me your glass. Let's do this. All right, here we go. Pop the top. Smells like $1,000,000. Let's see. Now I tasted this before, but and it is the Hibiki Harmony, just in case you are wondering, in case you're
fest.
Yeah, boom. I'm only gonna give you a little.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I'm controlling your consumption. Now where the fuck? Oh, duh. All right, so
it was pretty good and smooth.
Yeah, it's a nice bottle.
Yeah.
Smells pretty fucking good. Got the little cork action. Now, when I went to go look for this particular whiskey, it was only $79. That was like a couple of weeks ago. So, me, I'm persistent. I decided to look it up and see if anybody had it. But within the last 7 days. Now, they still don't got it, but it's $200 a bottle. So, again, I will say I acquired this, but I didn't buy it, but I did acquire it. And now I'm going to give it a good taste. What do you think?
I really enjoy it a lot. I think it's very smooth. Got a good flavor on it.
Oh,
it's pretty
that's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Now, some history about Japanese whiskey.
Yeah, talk to me.
Right?
Yeah, give it to me.
So, around 1850, there was this, I don't know how to pronounce his name, so I'm not going to butcher it.
Sure.
But he went to Scotland, actually learned their whiskey making practices, brought it back to Japan, and that's kind of was the beginning of Japanese whiskey. Over the years, of course, they put their own little spin to that process.
Yeah.
And it really wasn't that popular. And then it kind of had a resurgence in the 1980s and 90s of gaining some feet again. And then again, kind of was understated and like, not many people talked about. And then more recently, it's been kicking back up in conversation again.
Gotcha.
And so
Gotcha.
it's not as appreciated, but it's kind of like Scotch in the fact that it's like a blend often. But according, to online, because I don't know the processing.
Sure.
But I think it tastes really good. The other one that you had introduced me to, I wasn't a fan of.
I forget the name of it too. Yokohama or something.
And definitely,
not the tires.
I guess Irish whiskey is definitely the most celebrated. However, I'm with the Japanese whiskey. I can appreciate it for sure.
I'm not a huge fan of the other Japanese whiskey. This whiskey is actually really fucking good. I like whiskey. I'm a whiskey guy. Even though I drink the cheap shit like, Makers, that's my shit though. But Pappy Van Winkle, nigga, if you know, you know. If you don't know, nigga, you don't know, nigga. So,
oh my God.
Anyway.
Can I get some more though? Like,
No. You good with that?
Come on, man.
I'm gonna hook you up. You want some more?
Yes.
You ain't even finished what you got. Can you eat what's on your plate first? You know what your mama said. Finish your veggies.
Well, give me a baby pour.
You already like drunk in this motherfucker,
not.
man.
You just being dramatic.
You can move the mic. I keep telling you that.
I know, but I'm already in a comfortable position.
You want some more?
No, I'm good.
That's solid.
That's good.
All right, cool.
okay,
Anyway, let me.
When were you first introduced to a really good whiskey?
Ooh, when was honestly the first time I was introduced to whiskey was Pappy Van Winkle.
That was your first one?
That was my first one. That was my first introduction.
Like to like really like
actually drink a whiskey, without adding something into it.
Without it being like Crown, like the Canadian.
I don't
whiskey.
even think I had. I don't even think I had Crown. I may have, but the first time I actually tasted something straight, as far as whiskey goes, not in general, but as far as whiskey goes, was Pappy Van Winkle. So I started at the high end, and then I had to taste all the trash on the way down.
We went to a whiskey fest. We need to go to another one, but we need to go to. You know what? I was gonna say we need to go to a bigger one, but honestly, the little guy took us out.
What whiskey festival?
Remember we went to it was at that restaurant. Oh no, was that tequila?
My nigga, you keep calling that everything. The Hennessy Festival. Nope, that was tequila. The whiskey. Nope.
It was tequila.
Tequila.
Okay.
My nigga, that was tequila.
We've been to a few.
The vodka festival.
Okay.
No.
There is a whiskey one that I keep seeing that we haven't been to though.
Yeah, no, I don't think I've never been to a whiskey festival.
I could have sworn it was whiskey.
Yeah, but you're wrong though. Because it was tequila. It was 110% tequila. I was there. Yeah, I was there.
And
anyway.
It was at a Mexican food restaurant, so
okay.
It seems like
so. Anyway, moving on. Moving on, everyone. So, little. So anyway, Hibiki, very good. It is very flavorful. Yeah. It's very smooth. It has the bite of whiskey without it being like overbearing, without it like really just like grabbing your whole mouth and saying, "Nigga, come here."
Yeah.
So
it's nice. It's really nice.
This is really good, and it was really good with a cigar, man. I forgot what kind of. I think I had I forget the goddamn cigar. Anyway, I had a cigar with it. It was really good. But Hibiki actually means Renaissance.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
So Hibiki, the word meaning it means Renaissance. It was launched in 1989 to commemorate the 90th anniversary of Suntory, which is the founder's very first whiskey that he made.
Is that the 1925 one?
No. Let me finish. Because that you're close though. So Suntory. In 1923, Japanese whiskey production began officially in Yamazaki by Shinjiro Tori.
Yeah.
Shinjiro. So he's the guy who actually made Suntory. Okay. He started off as a wholesaler for a pharmaceutical company that was also active in wine and spirits. So that's where he like kicked off his like spirits. You know, that's where he got his spirit bug and shit. He was in his bag, you know what I'm saying? He was in the spirit bag, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? My nigga Santori. His name wasn't Santori. It was Shin. I can't pronounce this, okay?
Yeah, I skipped the name pronunciation.
I'm gonna try it again. Shinjiro. Okay? Shinjiro Tori is my man's name. Because we want to give him some respect.
Confidently,
we want to give him some respect. Shinjiro Tori. So in 1899, Shinjiro Tori founded the company Tori Shoten. Okay. This place basically sold imported wine, and at that place is where he basically produced a port wine called Akadama. Okay,
you look very confident about that pronunciation.
Listen, I'm not confident at all, but that's what I'm just pronouncing every letter.
Okay,
Akadama. It's a port wine that he produced at this particular company that he was at. So, and it's a sweet red wine. So he produced that in 1907.
Question:
Go ahead.
Feelings about port wines? Yay or nay?
It's always a nay. I'm not a really sweet wine guy, so I don't really care for ports.
It's been a nay for me too. And I think we've tried some that are probably pretty good.
Yeah, I had one in my fridge for a long time. If you like
port wine, but
yeah, I think I still got one in my fridge right now that we got from Santa Barbara or Napa.
I'm gonna try it again with an open mind.
Not me. Help yourself. Matter of fact, I got one in the fridge. Don't open it.
All right, go ahead.
I'm saving that for somebody special. I'm joking. So again, he made the Akadama port wine in 1907.
Okay.
In 1921, that business was renamed Koto Bukia. It was named look, I'm trying, my nigga. I'm trying, okay? I'm not Chinese, Japanese, I'm not Asian. I'm none of that shit. So I don't have the same. If these was Mexican names, I can't do I can't do it. So listen, just bear with me. It was the Koto Bukia company. Okay. Now, also, in 1899, it's considered to be the founding year of the company Koto Bukia, even though it wasn't until 1923 that he started the Yamazaki whiskey distillery, okay, which is when he renamed the company Koto Bukia. Koto Bukia. I got that shit. I did that shit, man. Fuck y'all. Fuck you too. But fuck you too. You too. Anyway, and at that company is where in 1924 he started making whiskey with the Scottish model of running the whiskey through copper stills. Okay, that's how they were making. I guess that's the Scottish way of making whiskey, is running it through copper stills. And then 5 years later, the company sold their first Japanese single malt whiskey under the name Suntory. Is the Suntory whiskey. And that's what this is the Suntory. This is Hibiki Harmony, but it's under the Suntory deal. And today, that company, Beam Suntory, is one of the big five globally.
Nice.
It's one of the big five globally.
Who are the other big five?
I don't know the other big five. This nigga, that nigga, and the other nigga. I don't know.
I'm gonna look it up.
I didn't do all that kind of research.
Well, because I'm just nosy. I'm like, well, who's the big five? Be
nosy then. Like, but you look it up then.
Big five whiskey makers?
Yeah, the big five. See who the big five is. And if I had a chance to guess, I would say that the big five would be Jim Beam. What's his name? Hold on. Jim Beam, which is Jack Daniels.
Jack Daniel, yeah.
I would also have to say it would be Makers is one of the big five. because I think Pappy Van Winkle is more like a niche. I don't think that's going to be one of the big five. Gentleman's Jack, maybe, but doubtful. And I don't even know who that's made by. But I know Jack Daniels is one of them, and Jim Beam is the other one. The other three, or the other two, because Santori is one of the other ones.
Oh, this one looks like it's like naming like specific whiskeys. You know, this is by Whiskey Magazine.
Now, you want to look up the big five whiskey distilleries.
Okay, hold on. Whiskey distilleries. I put whiskey makers. Let me put distilleries. See if that makes a difference.
Yeah, that should narrow it down just a little bit. Because it's a lot of whiskey makers.
The same thing came up, but maybe that's it. But
possibly,
I like a good whiskey. I actually prefer to drink my my liquor straight these days, and we've talked about this before. I'm not a big mixer fan, so I'm liking the vibe of the whiskey. But yeah, so I've had a very as a therapist, I have all kind of like fun things happening. And so lately, I'm a marriage and family therapist. And so I've been just seeing a theme of like relationships, coming to a very natural place lately. And it's been like a lot of people really just kind of like reevaluating like where they are, which is, I guess, kind of typical. But it just seems like it's been a lot lately of people making some really big decisions. And so I wanted to ask your opinion on something.
Okay, I'm listening.
Because I've had, several people who, were able to rekindle, relationships that they had ended previously and were now, trying it again. So what is your thoughts? Some people are like in the camp of like, if I broke up with you, it was for a reason and it's done. Other people are like, with change and growth,
Let me stop you.
Rekindle.
Let me stop you. If you listening to this podcast, and I hope you are, all you bitches, every single one of y'all, even the ones I like, you got some good pussy, your head was amazing, all you bitches, fuck off. Because the way that I look at it is, if I left you for a reason. Or if you left me for a reason. Go that way. And that way is not a specific direction. When I say that way, I just mean any other direction than this direction. Like, go that way, bitch. Yeah, so no, I'm not redating exes. You had your chance. I'm amazing. Now you realize it, and you trying to come back to Big Daddy. Big Daddy ain't having it.
All right, so I look at it a little bit differently. Okay. Like, I feel like if, I can see it from both sides. I've seen people who like don't fix what went wrong the first time. So they got back together, they didn't fix anything that went wrong, and they just kind of like expected it to like, manifest somehow just because it's going good at first.
Right.
But, what I would recommend for anybody who's like thinking about getting back together with an ex is like you dive in deep, you fix what happened. Because that's what I see the success in. Like people who've been like broken up for like long periods of time, they went, had their own like separate lives, learned some lessons, grew up some more, and then got back together. I've seen that work out, because you've grown. There was something that's going to be different there.
Fair enough.
But I think it's a little bit of a challenge if nothing really has changed and like you just not as mad as you were before.
Okay.
Then like I don't see that relationship ending up very well, because once somebody gets comfortable, which is what I've seen happen time and time again, is that
Jinx, you owe me a Coke.
That 90-day period, everybody's like, in good spirits.
Yeah.
And then before you know it, the same attitude that was before, the not listening, the not communicating, the not trusting, it all seeps its way back in, and then you end up back in the same place. Now, I am a hopeless romantic, so I do believe that, like, I do believe in love. I do believe in change and all of that good stuff. As a therapist, I definitely believe in people growing and changing.
Yeah.
So I think it can happen, but I think you have to be very intentional if you're going to do it.
Okay. And I agree with that to a certain extent. Being intentional is like paramount. Like, why would you do it otherwise? But and yeah, like, yo, if you're gonna go back into a situation that you left or it left you, the decision to go back in is intentional in itself.
Yeah.
So for anything to end, regardless, says that the only way for it to be successful is, regardless of what it is for you to be intentional. Like, right?
But that's what most people don't want to do. Most people, okay, when most people come to couples counseling, they come with an agenda. I think I've said this before of, I want you to tell my partner, whoever it happens to be, that I'm right and they're wrong.
Yeah.
And they're expecting basically the therapist to tell them that the other person needs to change and not both people.
Exactly.
But the reality is that it's always, even if, you know, I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, this person is a little bit more right, if you will. But in order for the relationship to work, both people have to like meet in the middle, because there has to be some way that you guys maintain homeostasis. So if one person,
oh shit, how you know about homeostasis?
Oh my gosh,
you know homeostasis?
Oh my god,
I'm blown the fuck away.
Lord, if one person,
I'm blown away.
Stop.
How you know homeo?
Stop.
All right, go ahead.
So if one person has a strength that the other person doesn't have, then that means that the other person has to make some sort of adjustment. Maybe they have to take the lead on certain things. And that doesn't mean one person is right or wrong. It just means that for this relationship, if you're going to date this person, this is where you go. This is the steps that you're going to have to take so that there's able to be one balance. So for example, if one person is very affectionate and the other person isn't, then okay, the person that's more affectionate, they're going to have to adjust their expectations of affection to maybe be a little bit less, you know?
Sure.
And the other person that's not as affectionate, they're going to have to come to the middle and be a little bit more than what's typically comfortable, so that you can meet somewhere in the middle, so that everybody's getting a little bit more of what they wanted. So it's not like, oh, well, we're just not going to be affectionate. And the other person like, okay, well, I'm just not going to get none of my needs met. Like that, that just can't be.
No,
you know, so everybody has to make an adjustment.
Everybody has to adjust. In any relationship, in a general sense, whether it be friendship or romantic relationship, there has to be an adjustment, because you can't at any point just be like, nah, it's my way or the fucking highway. That does not set the foundation for a successful relationship in a general sense. Yeah. So, and I hate saying a general sense, because general sense is my crutch. I'm calling it out before y'all call it out. Y'all can turn it into a drinking game if you want. But if you turn general sense into a drinking game, I say that the only thing that you can drink is Hibiki. If you turn general sense into a drinking game, and every time Jay says in a general sense, which I do very often, you have to have a bottle of Hibiki. And I'm not getting a cent from Hibiki at all. Listen, anything that I feature on this podcast, I'm not getting any money from. This is just a podcast that I do because I like to do it. But if you're going to do it, you have to have Hibiki when you do it.
All right. I have one more thing I want to say before we move on to any other topic.
I don't really fuck with Japanese whiskey.
So I have one more suggestion for all the couples out there.
Okay.
Which is being very intentional about what you complain about. Because I had a few people that would like come on their session and like complain about the smallest things about their partner.
Like what? Like dishes?
Let's just use dishes as an example of like,
that is the smallest thing I could think of.
You know, oh, they didn't put the dishes away. I've had, this person decided to go hang out with a family member instead of like coming to hang out with me, and or I don't like that they do this and I don't do that, and every time I hear like, oh, but I don't do, which is something I personally say sometimes.
I hate that.
So like when I'm hearing it from other people, I'm like, oh, like that's like
it's cringeworthy.
It's cringeworthy because I'm like, you can't base everything that your partner does based on what you would or would not do.
Anybody. You can't base what you do on anybody.
Fair enough.
It's just fucking you.
They were talking about their partner, so that's why I related it that way. And then it just ends up to a place where like the partner, she was telling me like, oh yeah, my partner said like, was like, oh, well then go date somebody else then. And and I was in my mind, I was like, well, I can understand why that would be that response, because it's kind of like, if everything you're picking at is like, oh, I don't like this, I don't like that, like everything is I don't like, you can't like everything your partner does. Some of this stuff,
that's true, you're
just gonna have to accept. Like they're their own person, and if something makes them happy or they have a habit that you don't like, then it is what it is.
As long as it doesn't bother you. Like, how is it affecting you? If it affects you, that's one thing. But if it doesn't affect you, let it go.
Some of the stuff I think that people can find a way to like make it sound like it affects them. Like one of the things was like, well, because of their health. And I'm like, but
nah, bitch, you don't give a fuck about that nigga health because you just bought that nigga a Philly cheesesteak 2 days ago. You don't care about the nigga health. Don't miss me with the health thing.
Well, I won't say that, but I'll just say like, yeah, okay. Yes, of course you want your partner to be healthy, but again, it's pick your battles. Like, if you really put it in perspective, is that something that you're willing to break up with somebody for? Like, whatever it is that you're complaining about. If it's not something that's gonna like be a big issue, then it might be something that, is it annoying? Sure.
Yeah.
Do I want them to do it? Definitely not. Absolutely not. But like, is it worth leaving them over after all this long list of stuff that you love? No. So like, some of the stuff, if you mention it and it keeps happening, some of it is just like, you gotta have to let it go.
Yeah.
Like, we can't sit here and be like, oh, you eat too many cheeseburgers. Like, okay,
get on your frozen shit. Get on your frozen shit, my nigga. Let it go. I want to sing today.
But it's been on my mind because I've been hearing a lot of couples issues this last couple weeks. No, I won't. Okay. And I was just like, you know what? Let me put some energy out there, because I think sometimes people make everything an issue.
Yeah.
When some things are like an annoyance that you just maybe have to learn how to tolerate, and some things really are an issue you need to bring up. And deciphering which one is which,
I couldn't agree more.
Is kind of like the biggest challenge.
No, I couldn't agree more with that, man. Sometimes it's just an annoyance, and sometimes it's like a real issue that like digs into your fucking soul. And what I believe is that if you are in a relationship and whatever it is digs into your soul, that is something that needs to be discussed. And it also needs to be something that your partner is willing to change. And if your partner is not willing to change, or says they are willing to change but won't change it, then that's when you need to like reevaluate if this is your partner. Mm-hmm. Because I also believe that, hey, if this is the person that you've chosen to be with, I think that it's somebody that should be able to pick up on the things that you say and say, hey, rather it's even if it's just an annoyance, they need to be able to pick up on those things, understand that it negatively affects them, and they don't want you to do it. And if your partner is one of those people who is an antagonist, because I think I'm an antagonist, but maybe not in relationships, but in general I am. But if your partner is an antagonist and one of those people who say, well, I know you don't like it, and I'm going to do it because I know you don't like it, even if they don't say that verbally, but the actions show that.
Yeah.
Yeah, nah. Hey, check this out, famo. We can't be together.
But that's different. So I would equate it to this.
Yeah.
Okay. So these would be my two examples. So like, for example, you drink, right?
All the time, every day.
If somebody came
Don't miss a day.
And was your partner and was like, I don't like that you drink. It really bothers.
You're not even going to make.
Hold on. It bothers me at my core. You know, I don't think it would be fair for you to be like, okay, I'm just not going to drink at all, because I don't think that's a fair compromise.
Sure.
I think if they were to say something like, I don't know, like, I don't like when you call me, I don't know, Susie, I don't know, whatever the word is, a pet name of some sort.
Whatever the word is.
So that's like, okay, that's not too much skin off my nose. That's an easy enough adjustment. Like, I don't have to call you that. I can call you something else.
Sure.
Whatever. Like, you know, but if somebody's like, oh, I know you don't like being called this, and I'm just going to keep calling you this anyway.
Yeah.
Like, that's a different vibe than, like, you have this thing that you enjoy, that's a habit, like, and I'm asking you to stop doing it.
Sure.
That has nothing to do with the other person. That's one thing. Something that completely just impacts the other person that you could fairly easily change, and you don't, and you're making a conscious effort not to.
Yeah.
It's not about the thing. Then now it's about respect. Now it's about, like, just human decency and all of those things. Because, like, why are you actively choosing to do something that somebody doesn't enjoy?
No, and you're 100% right. And when it comes to, like, let's just say how you and not to say one thing or the other, but like you expressed the alcohol thing. Now, if I'm speaking to someone and, you know, we're talking and, you know, we're probably even entertaining a relationship of some sort, for that person, I'm going to tell you like this. Any woman that I've ever talked to on a dating app, in a general sense, if she ever says, I don't drink, she's out of there. Not because I'm trying to ruin my life in a certain way or my health or whatever the fuck the case. I'm like trying to do it at a rapid rate. That's not the point. The thing is that I enjoy drinking. So it's just like if I said I like to go to church and someone says I don't want to go to church, then that's a thing for those two people to decide. Yeah. I believe that anytime you are dating, that you should find somebody that, what's the word that I want to use? I'm going to say that I think you should find somebody who enjoys the same things that you enjoy.
I think that for the most part, but I will say this, because I knew somebody who, like, didn't drink at all and their partner drank, but they was cool about it. Like, they was like, I don't care. Like, I'll be the designated driver. Like, I'm still going to be here having fun. That. Like, you know, them not drinking didn't, like, they still went to the bars together. They still had fun. Yeah. They just weren't drinking alcohol because it just wasn't their vibe. It didn't make them feel good.
Sure.
So, like, again, I think, it's about the attitude about things. It's about, like, now, if I'm trying to get you to drink less, that's one thing. It's about how I kind of equate it to how some people are, like, vegan or vegetarian. Like, if that's your dietary, you know, boundaries, you know, and you want to do that, that's fine. And as long as it doesn't inhibit whatever it is that my personal choice is, you know, that's fine with me. Or it's like, oh, well, I'm a very active person. I work out every day. If you choose to date somebody that you know when you start dating them that was not their lifestyle, then you got to be cool with that. And if that's what they want to do, then that's what they want to do.
Exactly.
But I think some people, they, like, especially if a lot of things are good, they'll just nitpick, like, any flaw that they see to a point where it's like, okay, like, like, I get it. Yeah, they gained some weight. Again, so I always ask people, is it worth ending the relationship over? If you're saying this bothers you to this point, then okay, let's talk about it. If it's not, then you're just whining.
No, we talking about that next week. Next week, this is a teaser. But next week, we are 100% talking about, because you just brought that up.
Yeah.
Next week, the 100% that what we talking about is, do you feel the need? And we're not going to talk about it right now, but do you feel the need to make sure and keep yourself attractive to your partner? We're not going to do it this week, but we are doing it next week. So next week, That's exactly what we talking about. Hey, do you find it important to make sure that you are attractive to your partner, or do you let yourself go? I'm writing
I don't
it
think
down.
those are the only two options.
Those are the only two options because there are only two options in that. But we'll talk about it next week.
Oh, because
now we're gonna talk about it right now.
I'm just gonna
We're not
say
talking
this.
about it right now. No.
No,
You don't
no,
need.
I'm not.
I will turn this fucking pod off. Remember, I do the editing. I will edit all of this the fuck out.
Oh, okay, power
I'm
hungry,
telling
huh?
you, I'm power because I already said we talking about it next week.
Oh, why
So
you dictate
there's
it?
nothing.
Why you dictate it?
Because I'm the one that does it. You want to do the editing? You dictate then. That's what the fuck I thought.
Throwing your power around.
I'm not. You can edit.
You just
I don't.
watched
I'm 100%.
yesterday.
I am 100.
Quiet on the set.
I'm
I'm throwing away their power.
Nah,
throwing
fuck
around
that
their
shit.
power.
Nope, because that nigga didn't want to give up the power. I'm more than happy to let you edit everything. I'll show you exactly how to do it, and it's up to you. Edit how you want to edit, nigga. I'm gonna give you what I'm gonna give you. I'm smart enough.
Fuck you lying?
Hey,
Why you always lying?
hey,
Oh my God.
stop fucking lying. But I'm not lying. I'm telling you the real. You more than happy to take over all the editing. So, as far as this week goes, man, this was a good pod. I'm done for the day. I'm a little fucked up. You're a little fucked up. The Hibiki, don't forget.
It was good.
If you can find it, Hibiki Harmony. It is a good joint. A couple of weeks ago, it was only $79 a bottle, but because it's so sought after, now it's $200 a bottle. And I will say this: we had the Tears of Urona last week. Oh, I have to say this.
Oh yeah,
I have to say this. So last week we had Tears of Urona.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, what happened was we opened and experienced the Tears of Urona on the pod live, fresh, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, this shit just tastes like any other tequila. And I'm sticking with that. However, we also said, this ain't no Terramana, which is Dwayne The Rock Johnson's tequila. Right. So I had a guest over who came over my crib, and I poured her some Tears of Urona. And then I was like, but that shit is gross though. That shit is like, I only poured her like a taster, just so she could like let her fucking tongue. It was enough for a taster. And then I poured her some Terramana, and she was like, I like the fucking other one better. I like the Tears better. I was like, bitch, yo, taste buds is off. So I poured myself some Tears of Urona. Drank it like, yeah, that shit is just regular. And then I poured myself some Terramana. It was not the same. The Tears of Urona was better.
I'm gonna have to
the Tears of the Urona was better.
I'm gonna have to taste it again.
So, this was my first. Well, no, this is not my first time tasting the Hibiki.
At the flight,
I tasted it before.
Yeah.
But the Hibiki is actually good. It's actually very delicious, man, and I will say that it is worth the $200. That's what I will say.
It is good.
It is very good. I had Pappy Van Winkle 12, 14, 18, 20, 21, and 23. I've had all of those. And the best one to me was the 20-year-old, not the 21, not the 23. The best one was
about Macallan too. Like, it wasn't the older ones that you liked. It was somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, like Macallan. It was the 18. Yeah. Very good. The Macallan 18, delicious. It's an expensive bottle. I'm not gonna just go buy. I had a bottle here, but I think I drank that shit up.
Oh, we must have.
Yeah, we drank that shit up. But it wasn't that great. I bought it on a cruise. I think it was like the 12 year, some weirdo shit like that. Wasn't the best, but it was okay. Like, you know what I'm saying, it was okay. But the Hibiki, if you're gonna get it, go ahead and get the Hibiki Harmony, man. Again, nobody's paying me a cent. I'm telling you exactly how I feel. You're blessed.
Thank you.
You're blessed. So the Hibiki Harmony, man, grab it if you can get it, if you can find it. It's not everywhere. So I'm done with the pod today. Next week we're gonna explore some other shit, and it sounds like it's gonna explode.
Yeah, I know. I'm already
It's gonna be
ready.
a fire. She already ready to go. She already ready to go. So like next week it's gonna be hot. So we'll talk to y'all next week, man. Thanks for tuning in today. Thanks for having drinks with us. Finish whatever's in your cup. Get back to work. Whatever the fuck you doing. Don't tell nobody what you're doing. And then we're gonna talk to y'all. Yeah. Take it easy.